just make this very clear. For now, these are just allegations, but apparently Thomas Massie was on this show, Free the People, and he had some statements that were, in my opinion, kind of troubling. Most people are familiar with the term that a hit dog hollers, and the way that the Trump administration has brought suspicion on themselves in the way that they've been handling the hiding of the Epstein files, or the just lack of wanting to cooperate with anyone that wanted the release. Suspicion grew and spiraled out of control because people were thinking that there was something to hide in the way that they were doing almost the most to just hide what was in the files. So in comes Thomas Massie, then followed by Marjorie Taylor, then Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace. We all knew that Thomas Massie was already getting a lot of pushback. He's made claims that others were receiving millions in donations to their campaign so that they could have him primaried. He's been called a rhino, he's been called a traitor, Trump has truthed out against him. But I didn't expect the allegation that he put forward here. I can't say I'm surprised because we've all heard these allegations before in other encounters that people will get muscled or they'll get a visit from the FBI or the CIA. But here's what he had to say. Listen in.
One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you brought it up.
And so, like a criminal investigation having nothing to do, he said it was going to be a fraud. We're going to investigate one of your staff for fraud. Right. And he told another one of my staff this. If you guys don't straighten up, you know, if you want to play hardball, if this is how you want to play it or something like that, this member of your staff is going to get criminally investigated for fraud. A very specific threat.
Assuming that he might be telling the truth, I don't see why he would really have a reason to lie other than he's a politician. So they all lie. But assuming that this is truthful, that's disturbing. But it really does make you ponder. What the hell are in those files that everyone is trying to hide so deeply? The guy, the host, didn't even ask him about this question. He brought it up of his own volition.
Also, I'm going to say this here on camera because it's important. One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
I'm going to assume that by play ball, it means stop the investigation, stop helping out the victims, and don't look into these files, don't ask about the files. That makes me think deep money, deep pockets got involved. Somebody wants an order for protection out there because they probably did some stuff that they don't want being known out there.
We're supposed to help our people.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you brought it up.
And so, like a criminal investigation having nothing to do, he said it was going to be a fraud. We're going to investigate one of your staff for fraud. Right. And he told another one of my staff this. If you guys don't straighten up, you know, if you want to play hardball, if this is how you want to play it or something like that, this member of your staff is going to get criminally investigated for fraud. A very specific threat.
Really, the only issue that I have with this, and I understand why he's not doing it, is the lack of names. The lack of names just makes this fall under the guise of speculation. We don't know what staff, we don't know who to hold to task, and this is kind of one of the dirty sides of politics where they will make a claim, but really not go too deep into the claim. Remember what the statement was from Kash Patel beforehand, that there were no files.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
But then, and because Thomas Massie has been speaking with some of the victims, here's what he has to say.
You replied, according to the transcript, there is no credible information that he trafficked them to anyone else. According to victims who cooperated with the FBI in that investigation, these documents in FBI possession, your possession, detail at least 20 men, including Mr. Jess Staley, CEO of Barclays Bank, who Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to. That list also includes at least 19 other individuals, one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician, at least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada.
I think the magician is the only one that could legitimately make himself disappear.
Right.
And of course, at the time of his hearing, Kash actually was asked about all of this. Have you seen this information? And because he was so gung-ho on making sure that the files get released before he became the head of the FBI, you'd figure that the first thing that would happen is they'd be on his desk or Pam Bondi's desk. Well, to be fair, they were on Pam Bondi's desk at one point, and then all of a sudden they weren't.
Now he's a philosophizer.
But, and don't forget, he was asked about this list.
I don't know exactly who they are, but the FBI does. Have you launched any investigations into any of these people, and have you seen these 302 documents?
Sir, I have asked my FBI agents to review the entirety of the Epstein files and bring forth any credible information. And we're working with Congress not only to divulge that information and produce it to you, but any investigations that arise from any credible investigation will be brought. There have been no new materials brought to me launching a new indictment.
So is the loophole here, or is it your assertion that these victims aren't credible, that the 302s maybe didn't produce credible statements that rise to a probable cause?
It's not my assertion, sir. It's the assertion of two different United States attorneys' offices from 3 separate administrations who investigated those same materials in lifetime.
Are the 302 documents in the FBI's possession?
They reviewed all that, yes, sir.
And so have you reviewed those 302 documents where the victims name the people who victimized them?
If I personally know, but the FBI has.
So how can you sit here and in front of the Senate and say there are no names?
Plausible deniability. I haven't seen it, so therefore, I don't know. But I have to trust the agents that say that there's nothing credible, however you define that. So, threatening a member of Congress? Allegedly. Just another day at the office. That's all I got for now. Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you again on the next one. Be easy, y'all.